It's cruiserweight time now. Now, last week at York Hall, there was one of those fairy tale style fights. There's a guy called Shane McPhilbin, who was a replacement, a challenger from Nottingham, came down with a coachload of people. The place was rocking. It was one of those genuine sweat running down the walls sellouts at York Hall. And trust me, there have been plenty of those recently. In the other corner was Leon Williams, who was the underdog back in about October, won the British cruiserweight title. It was a tight, hard fight. In the opening round, Leon came out, fought Booster Boxer the Fitzroy, came out wearing a vest, or when he went to the ring, with Mick Carney's face on it. Mick Carney, of course, died back in November. Anyway, Leon came out first round, super confident, caught McPhilbin on the chin. McPhilbin went down. I thought momentarily he would be on the floor for about 5 minutes. He looked gone. He was asleep for about 4 seconds, and he managed to somehow clamber up. And after that, the fight slowed down. It went both ways. They were whacking each other. They were bruising. I think they both lost points for infringements. It was getting ugly. Then in the 11th round, and I thought at this point Leon Williams was way in front. I thought McPhilbin was struggling to last the pace, and his fans had gone quiet on me. Really, they had. Suddenly, in the last round, McPhilbin turned it around, dropped Leon Williams twice, and became the British champion. It was a proper old-school fairy tale. But one thing it did raise was the quality overall of our British cruiserweights. It could be a lot better. For a weight division that gave us Herbie Hyde, that gave us Johnny Nelson, that gave us Glenn McCrory, that gave us TJ, that gave us Sammy Reese, and of course gave us David Hay and Carl Thompson. We're a little bit light at the moment. Well, you know what? There's one guy up in the northeast, and I like to reach out sometimes from BBC London. We're going to go to Scarborough, where there's a young kid called Danny Price, and I spoke to Danny a bit earlier. He fights on Saturday, and the first thing I asked Danny was that, well, I asked him to agree with me, because I like to do that, and by asking him if he considered, like I do, that the British cruiserweight division is wide open at the moment.
Yeah, something like a couple more fights experience, and I want to be looking to fight these people, you know. Sooner the better.
I mean, really, what you need is the rounds, less so than the experience. You just need to know you can go 8 rounds, 9 rounds, or 10 rounds.
That's it, yeah. Like, I do inspire, obviously competition's a lot different, isn't it? So, I'm going to get this 4-rounder all the way. I reckon I'm going to do one more 4-rounder, or next fight will be a 6-rounder, so that'll be a bit more of a test, you know.
I mean, it's fantastic with all of these fighters that are just above you. You know, British champion McPhilbin, Leon Williams, who lost his title last week, Askew and John Lewis Dickinson, all fighting in sort of eliminators. And they're in front of you because they've had more fights. But in, say, a year or so, you could be well in their mix, couldn't you? 3 or 4 fights.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to get maybe 6 or 7 in this year, and then in my first year to the turning professional, then the second year, the world's my oyster, you know. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't see why any of them can't be beaten and beat them comfortably.
Are you happy that you turned over, Dan? Because you were sort of on and off with the GB and the British the boxing team, weren't you? You know, like looking at the Olympics, you were in favour, out of favour, in favour, out of favour. Yeah,
it's mad, you know. There's some points where I'd be getting all the results, turning all heads. Everyone's like telling me how much they rate me. And you get a couple of losses, and then that's it, you know. Yeah. Like the last time we were on the squad, I'd just come back from Germany, won 3 out of 3 over there. I beat the British number 1, the Irish kid. I beat the German number 1. So I boxed out my skin and then come back, got beat by a Russian, and that was me off, you know. There was no consistency, so in that sense of respect, I'm happy I've turned pro now, because I know what I'm doing, you know.
No, absolutely. I mean, I remember talking to your call a couple of years ago, and you were sort of frustrated then with the way it was opening up. But Dan, how long on and off were you part of that GB setup? And how many times in that, say, 2.5-year period did you actually box for Britain, Danny? Roughly, ballpark.
My first fight was in Ireland in 2002.
Blimey.
And ever since then I was number 1 at 81 kilo for the juniors. And then I was obviously number 1 at 91 after I'd beaten Dolan and Bellew. I beat both of them, and then I was number 1 all the way through then. So on and off, I was on the GB team for 10 years, and I had 65, 70 internationals.
Do you think at any point there, Dan, that I mean, are you looking back on it? You're only a young man now. You're 23 now. Do you think that perhaps you had a bad attitude then, and it's an attitude that now you've got older and you're a pro, it will change?
I think when I was in the GB team the first time round, I think it was such a good time for boxing. I mean, the team we had was like me, Pricey, Jamesy Gale, Frankie Gavin, Stephen Smith. I mean, list goes on. Just anyone in boxing now was in that squad. It was just a good time of boxing. And maybe I like overlooked the boxing, you know, for how good the actual times was. But you know, now I'm so focused on what I want now. You know, there's nothing I want more than to be that British champion and obviously go further.
And also that crowd in Scarborough, I mean, I used to be there a lot with Paul Ingle. I know follows you, and travels with you. But that's a devoted flock that they loved him and they turned out for him. And if you can get half of Ingle's following, you're going to sell out venues anywhere.
I think that's it. See, in Scarborough, we don't have a great football team to follow, or we don't have like great sportsmen to follow. So if someone's doing well from the town at any sport, you know, they get right behind us, and it's a great town to box on, to be honest.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, listen, you're boxing at Olympia, one of my favourite venues. It's an old indoor circus. You know that's not a joke. There used to be animals and everything in there. So you're there in a four round. Now, when you go into the ring, Dan, you just looking to get the guy out, or are you actually thinking consciously now, I could do with some rounds. I don't know, a little bit of both.
I'm going there to perform, to go in there to do what we've been working on in the gym, and perform to the best of my capabilities. And if the stoppage comes, it comes. If it doesn't, like I was saying to someone over there, I don't get disheartened, you know, because
of course not.
You get things out. Like I stopped the first kid in the first round, took nothing out of it, went the distance the last fight, and took a lot out of it, you know. So if it comes, it comes. I won't be.
You don't go searching for it.
No, I won't go looking for it. No.
Hey, listen, Danny, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, and hopefully we'll carry on speaking as you move closer and closer to an inevitable British title fight.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much, Steve.
That was Danny Price talking to me there. In fact, I've asked Danny to let me have Paul Ingle's number. I might try and get hold of Paul Ingle because, I mean, he suffered an injury in the ring about 10 years ago. But, he does talk. He's a bit slow with his talking. And he looks worse than he is, because of the medication he's on. He's sort of bloated. I might try and get Paul Ingle. I might try and do an interview with Paul and bring you a bit of that. He was a terrific fighter in his day, Paul Ingle. And Danny Price is a good fighter. He did have a lot of attitude when he was younger, and he sort of rubbed people the wrong way. But he's a man now. He's a mature man. 10 years as part of the GB setup. Now he's gone pro, he's had 2, he's undefeated, and he could even be British champion by the time, just after the Olympics, to be perfectly honest with you. That's the way it works. Now,